So you're interested in Bitcoin, but not just as some, digital currency, right?
Right.
You've heard about its potential to like totally transform energy. And frankly, that's what we're diving deep into today.
Yeah. It's gone from this thing people criticized, Bitcoin uses too much energy,
Hmm.
to now maybe it's a solution.
Exactly. And to help unpack all of it, we've got Fred Teal.
Oh, yeah, he's the CEO of Marathon Digital Holdings.
They're doing some really interesting stuff in Bitcoin mining.
He's pushing the boundaries of what we think
Cool.
of with Bitcoin mining.
So no more like server farms just sucking down electricity.
Well, it's more nuanced than that. It does need a lot of energy, but
Hmm.
Marathon is figuring out how to make it sustainable, even good for the environment.
Okay, now that's turning the tables. How are they doing that?
One example is their project in Kenya. They've got tons of renewable energy sources, geothermal, hydro, solar.
It's like a renewable paradise.
It could be, but here's the thing. Their grid can't handle it all. Yeah, so you get all this clean energy that just goes to waste.
Yeah.
It's called stranded energy.
Wow. What a shame. All that potential just wasted.
And that's where Marathon comes in. They partnered with the Kenyan government,
Wow.
set up Bitcoin mining using that wasted energy.
Oh, that's smart. So Marathon gets cheap, sustainable energy, and Kenya gets something out of what would have been lost anyway.
Exactly. And it's not just Kenya. They're doing this in other places like the UAE. Tapping into excess energy when it's cooler, demand is lower.
So instead of always needing new power plants, we use Bitcoin mining to like balance things out.
Yeah, exactly. And it gets even more interesting. Teal's talking about how Bitcoin and AI can work together.
That's a combo I wasn't expecting. What's the connection?
Think about it. Both need a ton of energy, right? Mining Bitcoin, training those big AI models. So Marathon's thinking, why not combine them?
Okay, how does that work?
AI data centers, Bitcoin mining farms, all next to each other. When the AI needs less power, the miners use it, and vice versa.
But like balancing each other out constantly.
Right. It's super efficient. Shows how Bitcoin can be more than just a consumer of energy. It can make the whole grid better.
Okay, I'm seeing the potential. But even if it's renewable energy powering it, isn't Bitcoin mining still, by its nature, using up a lot of power?
That's a good point, and that's why Marathon's looking at energy harvesting.
Energy harvesting, what is that?
Basically, using stuff that would be waste landfill gas, agricultural byproducts, even flare gas, and turning that into the energy for mining.
So we're talking trash into treasure here. How do they do it?
Well, one way is anaerobic digestion. Basically, microorganisms break down organic matter.
Wait, like breaking down,
Manure, yeah.
right, and somehow that makes energy,
It's pretty wild. These microorganisms, they don't need oxygen. They break stuff down and create biogas.
which can then power the whole operation.
Exactly. Sustainable power, and they're preventing harmful methane from getting into the atmosphere.
Now that's a win-win.
And in Finland, get this, they're using the heat from their data centers to heat people's homes.
No way. So instead of those old fossil fuel heating systems, it's Bitcoin keeping people warm.
Exactly. Makes you think about how beneficial this could be.
It sounds like this could be how we get energy in the future. Decentralized, sustainable, locally sourced.
That's what Teal's suggesting, yeah. Imagine your home solar panels powering your house and mining Bitcoin. No more relying on the big power grids.
That's a future I can get behind. But it can't all be easy, right? There's going to be downsides, challenges.
Of course. It's still early days. Teal's vision is exciting, but we have to be realistic. There are going to be bumps in the road. It's important to remember this is still new.
Right.
There are going to be challenges as we figure out how it all works.
So what could derail this whole Bitcoin-powered energy utopia?
One big one is scale.
Scale.
Yeah, right now it's exciting, pilot projects, local successes.
Right.
But a global energy grid powered by Bitcoin, that's huge.
Yeah, that's a whole other level.
We're talking a complete overhaul of how things work now.
Oh, yeah.
And that brings us to another hurdle, regulations.
Yeah.
Governments are still figuring out Bitcoin itself, let alone using it for energy.
It's also new.
Exactly. Some countries are all for it. Some are, hesitant. Some want nothing to do with it.
Yeah, it's all over the place.
Makes it tough for companies like Marathon. They're operating in all these different places.
Right, what works in one country might not in another.
Exactly.
You mentioned Canada. They've got a lot of energy, but haven't been as open to Bitcoin mining. What's going on there?
Teal said their policies haven't been great for data centers, big mining operations.
Makes sense.
So Marathon's had a tougher time there.
So even within a country, it can vary depending on local rules, what they prioritize.
Exactly. And you've got the big energy companies.
Oh, yeah, they're not just going to disappear.
Right. They've got a lot of
Yeah.
power. And some of them see Bitcoin mining as a threat.
I mean, if people start making their own energy, mining Bitcoin at home.
That could be the end of utilities as we know them. Big disruption like that, there's going to be pushback. Look at Texas.
Texas? I thought they were all about crypto.
They were,
Really?
at first. Cheap energy, good regulations, miners were flocking there.
So what happened?
More miners, more demand on the grid.
Oh, I see.
Suddenly, electricity prices spike.
Not just for them, but for everyone.
Right, and people start complaining.
It's like a balancing act.
Yeah, Bitcoin can make the grid more efficient, but if it also makes energy more expensive.
That kind of defeats the purpose.
Exactly. It's not simple.
Right.
Needs planning, good infrastructure, and everyone needs to work together. Governments, energy companies, the Bitcoin miners.
And that's probably the hardest part.
It can be.
You've got all these different groups, different goals.
Sometimes they're competing with each other.
To get them all on the same page.
That's the challenge.
It's about more than just energy, right?
Right.
It's about who has the power, literally.
Exactly. And that's what makes this so fascinating.
Yeah.
We're talking about potentially changing, like, the power structure of the world.
It's huge.
But like we said, it's early.
Right.
Lots of potential pitfalls.
You mentioned Teal's vision of really decentralized mining, even happening at home. Is that realistic?
It's an interesting thought.
Yeah.
Your solar panels powering your house and mining Bitcoin, earning you a little money.
That's amazing.
Right. No more relying on big companies for energy. You're more independent.
We're in control.
Exactly.
That's powerful.
And that potential shift in power. That's what's so exciting about this technology.
Right, right.
But of course, it's not that simple. We're talking about changing how things have been done for a long time.
And that's never easy. But
Yeah.
easy or not, there are always those things we got to watch out for, right? When we talk about changing how we get our energy so fundamentally, what could trip us up? What could stop this decentralized energy future from actually happening?
One of the big ones is access.
Access.
Yeah. If Bitcoin mining is going to be a big part of a sustainable future, everyone needs to be a part of it.
Right. Not just the people who can afford it or who already understand the tech stuff.
Exactly. We've seen it before. New technology comes along, and it actually makes inequality worse if we're not careful.
Right. The benefits end up going to those who already have the most.
Exactly. So it's not enough to just have the tech. We need to think about how it gets used, who gets to use it.
So everyone benefits, not just a select few.
Yes. We need to make sure this transition to a new energy system is fair, that it works for everybody.
We're talking about changing energy for the whole world. That's a huge responsibility.
Absolutely. And it means thinking about the consequences.
Not just the tech, but the social side of it, too.
Right. Who wins? Who loses? How do we make sure everyone comes out ahead?
These are big questions.
They are, and we need to start asking them now while it's still early.
This isn't just about swapping one energy source for another.
It's about how we think about energy completely differently.
Our relationship to it, to technology, to each other, it gets kind of philosophical.
It does. It's complex, no easy answers.
But that doesn't mean we shouldn't try.
Exactly.
It feels like we're at a turning point. What we do now about Bitcoin, about energy, it's going to have a ripple effect.
For sure.
It's a little daunting, but also really exciting.
Definitely.
This whole conversation has really changed how I see things.
That's so.
It's like Bitcoin mining, it seems so technical, right?
Yeah.
But it's connected to so much more.
Right.
Sustainability, social justice, even global politics. It's all tied together.
It all comes back to energy.
It really does. Makes you realize how everything is connected.
One big system.
And that even our small choices can have big consequences.
Absolutely.
A lot to think about. So as you're out there thinking about Bitcoin, about energy, about the future, here's something to consider. What if Teal is right? What if Bitcoin mining really does become like Wi-Fi everywhere? What will that world look like? What new opportunities will there be? What new challenges will we face?
Big questions, and I don't think anyone has all the answers yet.
Maybe that's the point.
Maybe.
We have to figure it out as we go.
Exactly.
And that's what makes this so fascinating.
It's a brave new world out there.
It really is. So keep exploring, keep asking questions, and keep diving deep.
See you next time.